Everybody snuggle in. I know we're still waiting for a part for the event center, so we have the doors open today, but the part is coming and we'll get this heat addressed in here. Exactly. First I want to start, I know as many of you know, Nicole Rooney, our Creative Arts Coordinator, resigned. Her last day was last Friday, and I don't know if everyone's aware, but Jackie has been promoted to Creative Arts Coordinator. An easy choice for us to make. She's been with Fox Run for 2 years, working with all of you, and we're really excited to have her in the position. It's only been a week, but Jackie's been so calm, as many of you know, without Nicole, and then also Ashley, she was our per diem, and she's going to help us out through the end of the year, but we're still down 2 positions. We have hired someone for Jackie's position, so we're excited to have Rowan start, so you will be seeing her around campus. And then we're still looking for Ashley, but she's been handling everything with such grace, and we're really excited, so give Jackie a hand.
I just want to say really quickly that I really appreciate all of the support and the words of encouragement, me transitioning into this new position, and I'm super excited to bring new ideas and new activities and adventures, and yeah, so thank you all.
And we have a new community member in the audience that just moved in last Friday. Miss Rosemary Olmstead, will you raise your hand? Sorry to put you on the spot. You. Hi, Rosemary. Rosemary just moved in last Friday from East Aurora, so she knows a lot of people within our community, and actually some of her work is hanging up in our Fox Run gallery. She is a weaver, so be sure to welcome Rosemary if you haven't already. This coming Wednesday is our annual meeting for our resident association. That's at 1 o'clock. You can still do early voting. You can see Pamela for a ballot Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. Otherwise, the voting will be from noon to 1 this coming Wednesday, October 23rd, and the meeting will start right at 1 o'clock. So please join us for that. Also next Wednesday, we have our annual trick-or-treat night. That will start right at the Commons at 6:30. We are going over to the health center this year. We're excited about that. We have plenty of candy, so please come down, tell your families, all are welcome. And we are still accepting candy donations. That can be brought right down to the Commons. And lastly, actually, 2 more things. November 1st at 1:30, we're going to be doing a remembrance service right here in the event center. We're going to remember all of those within our Fox Run community that have passed on. So please, if you're available, Friday, November 1st at 1:30, please join us in the event center for a nice service. And lastly, we are missing a basket. As of Saturday, there was a really nice Longenberger basket that was right outside in the lobby. There were some fresh herbs in it, so if you took the herbs, the basket was not included. So if you did take the basket by accident, we ask you please just return it to the Commons. Bill.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Oh, you clap for it, yeah. Just real quick, we have a 1 o'clock Bills game this weekend. It's the first one we've had, I think, in a while. But we did add new signage near California Road. What I discovered last year during the playoffs was we weren't getting people parking or tailgating. We've become an Uber drop-off point. So as I came back from the game, wearing my Bills jersey with my kids, there were cars lined up at 11 o'clock at night waiting to pick up people walking back from the game. So we're trying to stop that. Matt has added extra hours during Bills games for afterwards. And again, the additional signage saying it's private property. It's not going to stop them from lining up on California Road, but at least it will stop them from coming in the campus. So we're still working on it, and it has been working out well. The very important thing I want to talk about is everyone familiar with Buffalo Business First magazine? Yeah. Okay, so it is the premier business periodical in most cities, and Buffalo has its own. And every year there's a special award given out where They look at all of the movers and shakers in the business world, and they call it 40 under 40. So what does that mean? They pick 40 professionals across all industries who are under 40 years old. Hopefully I win it next year. And they look for people under 40 who are really outstanding in their field, and a nomination is submitted. And I can tell you that it's not an easy award to get, but we do have in our midst a recipient of this year's 40 under 40, 40 under 40 award, and is Lisa Sanders. We are so proud of Lisa. This is highly competitive, and we're just so proud of Lisa for all of her hard work. When she transitioned over and became our Director of Dining Services, and it's not just doing well in your field, it's volunteering your time and doing those extras and going an extra mile. So Lisa, congratulations. And if everyone has a chance to congratulate her, please do so. But she's busy working multiple jobs right now until we get an executive job. Did you want to say anything?
Well, I do have some announcements. Am I next?
Oh yeah, this is perfect. Why don't you come up and do some announcements?
On a quick side note, Lisa was one of over 250 people who were recommended for that.
Oh, so 250 nominations, only 40 win, and here's one of them. One more.
Thank you, everybody. It's definitely an honor, and love working here and the team I work with, so I appreciate all that. On to other business, though. I did want to bring up Thanksgiving. We're getting a lot of questions about Thanksgiving reservations. We are going to hold our annual Thanksgiving meal. It's not really brunch, but it's a brunch time with the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. We are going to start taking reservations on November 1st. So call down to the bistro or go to the hostess stand and make your reservations. Guests are welcomed. They're not limited. We'll be seating in the Oak Room and the bistro. And so we're hoping to have a lot of people, so talk with your friends and families and see what you'd like to do. After coffee hour today, we are going to take like a 5-minute break just to get organized, and then we're going to talk about the Volante Eats app. That ties in with our new dining software that we have that deals with your points and your balances, where you can order directly online. So we'll go through that. Killian and I will work on kind of getting you a little presentation on how it works, and then we'll all be around to help you load that. So if you're interested, give us a few minutes after the presentation today, run to the restroom, get a cup of coffee, and then we'll jump right into that. Okay? And then, and back to Allison.
Do we have any resident announcements this morning? No? Oh.
Yarn and Thread will meet this week, but in November and December, we will only meet on the second Wednesday of the month.
Did everyone hear that?
No. Yarn and Thread Group will meet this coming Wednesday, but in November and December, because of the anniversary and Christmas parties, we will only meet on the second Wednesday, not the fourth.
Thank you. And then on to our presenter today. We have Mike Gardner, our IT consultant. Thank you.
Do we need some IT help getting his laptop? Fair? Yeah. My laptop almost fell.
Yeah, that's better.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Gardner. I've been with Fox Run for over 10 years now. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th year that we've given this cyber security awareness training to residents too. If you've sat through this before, it's just as informative and boring as all the other ones, so let's dive in. So some of the things we're going to talk about today. Why is this important? We're going to talk about backups, patching or updating your devices, everyone's favorite passwords, multi-factor or two-factor authentication, internet safety and email, phone scams, which aren't too common anymore, but I do like to go over them, general privacy concerns, and social engineering, which is the driving tool that threat actors use to let you hand over your information to them. So why is this important? We have a lot of technology, both here at Fox Run. I'm sure you have some sort of security software on your devices, your computers, but that technology is not enough to protect you from everything. So, and attackers are going to go where security is the weakest. And unfortunately, that's all of us. We are links in this security chain, and everyone likes to say, oh, well, the user should be the last line of defense. Well, honestly, I think you're the first line of defense because that's what attackers are going to try and target. It's really important for everyone, parents, kids, grandparents, employees, you name it, we all need to know this. And the more of us that know about the techniques that attackers are using and share stories, the harder it is for these attackers to trick people and to fool them. So a lot of people say, well, what do I have that an attacker would want? Well, you have something, whether it's credit card information, bank logins, access, medical data, it doesn't matter. As long as you have access to a computer, that's what they're looking for. And you also have something that they don't have, and that's money, and they're always trying to get it. So, ways you can protect yourself. Backups are the greatest tool against ransomware. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but make sure you have some sort of backup, whether it's a flash drive, external hard drive. I'm a big fan of cloud backups or cloud storage, so your Google Drive, iCloud, any place that you're backing up the data that's on your computer or your phone, getting that data up to the cloud so there's a second copy of it somewhere. Cloud backups are honestly the best because they're fully automatic. 10 years ago, before cloud was really prevalent, people would say, oh, well, I'm going to buy this external hard drive or this flash drive. I'm going to plug it into my computer every week or month. Nobody does that. I don't do it. We want something that's automated, and cloud is where it's at. So make sure you're using some sort of cloud storage to make that happen. And test those backups too. The cloud is easy because you're probably using it consistently. Your iCloud storage, your Google Drive storage, you're checking to see old photos, showing your friends some pictures you took. That is essentially testing that backup to make sure it works. Also, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask during the presentation because it probably applies to the slide that's currently up. Updates. They're annoying, but we have to do them. Most people think that updates are new features that are being pushed out to a software application or some sort of new thing that's being applied. When in the reality is, most updates, over 90%, are just to patch security vulnerabilities that have been found in software. So, and when I mean security vulnerabilities, what we're talking about is a threat actor has found a way to gain access to your phone, to your computer, to a system that you use without having to know the username or password. So most updates are just there to stop those vulnerabilities.
Can an update be malware? How could you tell if somebody said there's going to be an update and it really was just somebody?
That's a great question. For those of you that hear it, could an update be malware? Well, they certainly can pose themselves as malware. So it's important to know your device. So let's say it's a Windows computer, to know what that Windows update looks like. And Killian would probably be a great resource to bounce that question off of if you see a message on your computer that's saying update. What threat actors like to do is create things that look like legitimate Windows updates or maybe Google Chrome updates. So it's a little tricky to make sure you're actually doing the correct update. So some of the things that need to be updated, your operating system, if you run Windows, make sure that's getting updated. Most of the operating systems nowadays, whether it's Apple, iOS, or whether it's Microsoft Windows, they will push these updates and eventually do them whether you say to or not. And they do it in the most opportune times too, so I make sure to get mine done before this presentation. Your antivirus software needs to be updated again. These should be happening automatically, but it's good to check and see if you know how to do that to make sure these updates are getting done. Browser updates are almost the most important update we can do right now because the browser is the tool that you're using to access the internet. So this is very critical to make sure these are being updated with Google Chrome and Edge, even Safari. There'll be something on there saying, hey, you need to restart because an update needs to be applied. You can skip that for a very long time. However, we encourage you to click that button to restart your browser to make sure those get updated. Cell phones also will update on their own. They'll give you a chance to do it immediately. We definitely recommend the sooner you do it, the sooner you're closing those security holes that may exist on your device. We have Internet of Things, or IoT devices as we call them. These are your Amazon Alexas, your thermostats, your internet-connected light bulbs, which seem to be popular these days. So anything that connects to the internet needs to be updated because if an attacker can compromise any device on your network, they probably have access to other things on your network now. And if you're scared, this is working. Okay, social engineering. This is the big one. The use of deception to manipulate individuals into divulging confidential or personal information that may be used for fraudulent purposes. An examples or tactics that are used are phishing, so fake web pages and email, scareware. We've all seen these pop-ups where they say your computer's infected and you click here and call this number. They're just pop-ups. Never call a number that you see on your screen from a pop-up or click on any of these. Deals, free items, threatening phone calls. The IRS will never, ever call you. They will only send certified mail. So if anyone calls you posing to be from any government entity, it's fake. And coincidence. This is a new one this year because we've had a lot of comments from people when I do these chats, and I'll give you a quick story, and this was actually here at Fox Run this year. Someone said, well, so I was driving through a toll on the way up to Canada, and the same day I got a text message from EasyPass saying that my balance was 0 and I needed to click on this link and re-up my balance. And so she did that, but realized that it was a scam. So she said, there's no way you can tell me that that's coincidence. And I said, I absolutely can tell you that's coincidence. And we're very good at wanting to correlate events together. To the point where if I'm a scammer and I send out 2 million text messages to a whole group of people, what are the possibilities that one of those people just drove through a toll? And that's how scammers get people. They send out massive amounts of messages, emails, text messages, you name it, and they're trying to get that coincidental incident to get someone to call or believe. Because as soon as you believe in coincidence, you're going to trust that that text is real, that that email is real. So it's very important to, even if you do get a message that's coincidentally aligns with something else, start with known good login information. So she did the right thing. Eventually, she logged into her EasyPass account with a known good website, a known good link or search that she did, signed into that account and saw that her balance was indeed not empty. So, passwords. Nobody likes passwords. I don't like them. I probably have more of them in my brain than most people. They stink, but they're the only thing that keeps attackers out of our account. So they're very, very important. Keeping them in a secure location. I always like to joke with employees that under your keyboard is not a secure location. There's a sticky note that's sticking on the side of your monitor, but we still see it all the time. If you are going to keep your passwords written down, just keep them in a notepad that's maybe locked away or put in a drawer somewhere that's just not out in the open. We love password managers. The paid-for ones such as 1Password or KeePass. Unfortunately, LastPass was compromised last year, which stinks to say. You put all your trust into a password manager that you pay for, and then they get breached, and now your passwords are out in the open. Not great. I also use the built-in Chrome password manager. If you're using Safari, there's password managers built in there. We love those because they can create extremely secure passwords. They automatically get popped into a website, and they'll sync between your devices. So great to use there. If you are going to create your own passwords, avoid using addresses, phone numbers, pet names, things like that. If it's a very targeted attack, which isn't very common, the threat actors can use that information that they know about you to try and gain access to your account. And again, separate passwords for every account. The one password that you want to make sure that is separate from every other password is for your email account. Because if someone gets into your email account, they now have access to start resetting passwords for every other account that you have. Auto-generated passwords, again, these are where password managers are great. I'm sure everyone's seen these. It'll say, use suggested password, and then you see this 30-character gibberish password pop up. Those are phenomenal. They're completely unbreakable.
I have a question.
Yes?
The password managers, you said you put them into Chrome, and then when you go to open your email, you don't remember this 20-item long thing. It puts it in for you?
Yes, it does put it in for you. Sometimes it malfunctions.
You don't remember anything?
Oh, so her question was, if you use the password manager and it generates you a password, and it's very long and complicated, is it going to put that password back into that website for you when you go there? Is that correct?
Yes.
So yes, it does in fact do that. So when you browse through that site, it'll just autofill your username and that auto-created password right into the site for you. You can also go retrieve those passwords in the settings. It's a little tougher, but Killian knows how to do that, and he can help you with that. If you are going to create your own passwords too, we recommend passphrases, not passwords, because security is all about the length of a password. If you have an 8 to 10 character password that has lots of capital letters and symbols and is very complicated, it's way less secure than a 25 character password that maybe has one special character in it. So it's all about length these days. To illustrate that, we have a little chart here. Hopefully you guys can see it. We can see here, if we have put my laser pointer on. So if we have a 10 character password that it has upper and lowercase letters and symbols, it's 3 to 5 months, 3 weeks to 5 months to crack that password. Even 8 character passwords essentially are crackable instantaneously with current password cracking technology. So we're really looking for that 14 to 16 character. You can see something as simple as just upper and lowercase letters with no numbers that's 16 characters long is 173 million years to break, which should be good enough for everyone here. And with passphrases, these are very easy to create. They're just words that you can string together. Three words with a number is almost impossible to break currently. The next thing that helps us protect accounts is multi-factor authentication. I know email systems such as Google, Microsoft, and Apple have all implemented some sort of multi-factor or two-factor authentication system. For anyone who doesn't know what this is, it's as simple as you try to sign into your bank account and they say, hey, we're going to send you a text message just to verify. That's multi-factor in a nutshell. There's a few different multi-factor authentication methods. So we have SMS or text messaging, phone calls, and then the authenticator apps that you install on your phone. The authenticator apps are the best authentication method because they cannot be faked or spoofed as a text message or a phone call can. If it's a very targeted attack and someone has your username and password already, but they're missing that second factor authentication, but they have access to see text messages, they're in. But any multi-factor is better than no multi-factor at all. So accounts that you want to make sure you have multi-factor on are going to be your email for sure, your primary email account, and any account that has any financial account, so banks, credit cards, things like that. Most institutions nowadays have some sort of multi-factor on them, but if you don't ever see any multi-factor, check with your bank, check with your credit card company, and make sure that they have some sort of second or multi-factor system. Links. So here we have a quick diagram. Is the link safe in 4 steps? My big 3 are verify it. Do you know and trust the sender? Were you expecting them to send you a link? And the last one is, does it look like things they normally send you? What we're seeing nowadays is if a user gets compromised, that they will start sending out email to everyone that they've ever emailed that's in their contact list. And so now we have this trust model where Melissa sends me an email where her account's been compromised. Well, I trust Melissa, so I'm blindly going to click on this link, and now my system's compromised and sending out email the same. That's how these systems spread around the globe as quick as they do. So if you verified, you know who the sender is, you were expecting them to send you a link, it looks like things that you normally receive from them, you still want to hover over that link and make sure it seems like something that you clicked on before, the website that you've gone to before. So now you can go ahead and click on that link. And then the last thing is that sniff test. Does it seem normal? Does it seem like something that you've browsed to before? And if you can't say yes to all these things, don't click on it, because nothing bad can happen by not clicking. We're going to talk about the anatomy of an email address, because this is how most phishing emails are disguised, how people are getting tricked. So you can see here we have two parts. Everything in front of the email address itself is the name field, first and last name, or just one name. And this can be anything. I can go to gmail.com, I can sign up for an email address, and when it asks me my name, I could put in Bill Wildarczyk. There's nothing stopping anyone here from doing that. Don't do that, by the way. But the name field can be anything, and it's not scannable when it comes to trying to stop spam. Over here we have the email address, so we have the username in front of the @ symbol, and then behind it we have gmail.com. These are not fakeable at all. So when a scammer signs up for a new email address at Gmail, they have to put in something at gmail.com. Threat actors use this trick with the name field to put in something like an email address. And on your phone and on your computer, a lot of times the actual email address here is hidden. And you have to click or hover in order to see the true identity of the sender. So threat actors will put an email address, or they'll just maybe type in Amazon, and that's the name that you see. So when you get a fake email address, it genuinely looks like it's coming from Amazon. Here's an example of that. We have an email from Amazon, and everyone orders from Amazon. The threat actors are going to use companies and systems that are used on a daily basis by users. Your Amazons, any sort of credit card, email alerts like, hey, your password needs to be reset. But here we have an example, and up here it's probably hard to see, but they put Amazon as their name, but their email address is actually at amazonsupport.com. This is not Amazon, it was just going to be amazon.com. So these are ways that threat actors they've actually purchased this domain name, they own it, and they're setting up a fake Amazon store to try to trick you into clicking on their links or calling these numbers. If you think there is a problem with your Amazon account with a password or an order, don't use links that were provided in this email. Sign into your Amazon account directly and check and see if there's a problem. These aren't just limited to emails. Text messaging has been brutal the last couple of years. I'm sure everyone in here gets text messages from all sorts of companies, posing from UPS, FedEx, Amazon. Any of these companies are big targets for spoofing. Again, if you think there's a problem, don't click on the link that you've been provided. Sign directly into the account and check. So phishing with the PH, this is what that has been dubbed fake. Fake websites, fake emails, all sorts of fake systems that try to get you to hand over credentials. You can see here we have a fake Microsoft sign-in page, and up here we see it says microsoftonline.com. These threat actors buy up these domain names that are very similar to the real thing, and it's very, very difficult to tell the difference. So. Here's another example, and this one it has been going around a lot, where you'll get an email that says so-and-so, and it's possibly someone that you know and trust, whose account may have been compromised, but they've shared a file with you, and you need to click on it to get that file. If someone wants to share a file with you, they're just going to send the file, especially when it comes to a PDF or a document. You generally will not need to click on a link to go retrieve that file. Exceptions can be an attorney or an accountant. They might send you something securely. And the best thing to do in that situation is to call that person and say, hey, did you just send me this? Is this safe? Because if their account's compromised, and you email them back and say, hey, did you just send me this? Is this safe? Well, you're probably not talking to the attorney or the accountant. You're talking to the threat actor, and they're going to assure you that everything is safe and that you should click on it. Other email scams, these are non-technical, meaning there's no way to stop them because there's nothing wrong with this email that shows up. They're usually looking for a gift card or a wire transfer. There's some sort of access that they want. And sometimes these won't even have links in them. They'll just say, they'll start off simply as, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm emailing you from my personal account, my new personal account, and I need you to give me some information. So be very skeptical of these as well. There's always some sort of sense of urgency because the longer you have to stare at these emails, the more likely you're going to realize that they are in fact fake. If this is all that you take away today, you're so much better off. When you hear the word gift card, it is a scam every single time. There's not one reputable company that accepts gift cards for payments. My own mother got last year. She got a phone call from out of the blue, and she let someone onto her computer. They convinced her she needed to pay a bill with a Google Play gift card. And looking back, she said, that was really silly. I said, yep, it was. No company accepts gift cards. No one from Fox Run will ever ask you to buy a gift card, unless it is in person, and even then, I probably wouldn't do it. Scammer favorites, they're always targeting something that's urgent, that's popular, so health scares, elections, holidays are a big one. We order a lot of stuff during holiday time, and we see a lot of emails that say, hey, there's a problem with your order, or your order was canceled, and we all want little Jimmy to get his present on time. Go ahead.
Mike, there's a lot of text messages and emails coming out now inviting you to give to a political campaign. They are not all from your person's political campaign.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't hear that, so we have a lot of text messages coming from political campaigns asking for money. It's really, if someone's asking you for money, know who you're giving your money to, because if there's a screen between you and that entity, chances are that it's not legit. So just be very careful as soon as there's any transactions occurring. Take 5 minutes, do a little work, and make sure that you're giving the money to the appropriate party, not political party. Stay out of that. Phone scams. We don't see these a lot anymore because as soon as someone has to call, it's different than I can send out 1 million emails, but I can only call one person at a time. So if I'm a threat actor, this is kind of the last resort, but we still see these on a daily basis. They're posing as banks and credit card companies or medical insurance. There's companies now that actually try to sell you medical insurance over the phone, and they are completely fake. They sound very, very good because that's their job, is to spend all day trying to scam people, they're very, very good at it. Again, IRS will never ever call you. And if your credit card company does call you and say, hey, there's a problem with your account, say thank you and hang up, and then call the number on the back of your card. Always start with known good information. Phone numbers can be very easily spoofed or faked. I don't know if anyone here has gotten a call from themselves, but I did call a couple times. I always answer it because it could be me from the future. But hang up or don't answer. The grandparent scam, anyone who doesn't know what this is, it's been dubbed the grandparent scam. And it's as simple as you'll get a call and they'll say, hey grandma. And grandma will say, is that you, Billy? And they say, yes, it's me, Billy. You're feeding them information. So again, if your grandson is in trouble, maybe hang up and call their mother, but don't fall for scams where someone's posing to be someone else. Tech support scams, Microsoft, Apple, none of these companies care if your computer or your phone is infected. They will never ever call you because of that. General privacy tips, if you find a flash drive on the ground, do not plug it into your computer. You do not know what's on it. Someone also had the great idea to develop a flash drive that fries your computer electronically when you plug it in. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but so programs can run from external media such as flash drives, CDs, DVDs, and they can run without you knowing what is happening. Encryption. So we all see this HTTPS, there's a green padlock, it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside knowing that this site is safe. When in reality, these hacker groups, they have billions of dollars, so they buy domain names, they buy the certificates that create this S in the HTTP. So just because the site does say HTTPS doesn't mean it's legit. All it means is any data that you've typed into that site, and when you hit submit, that data is encrypted. That also means if you're on a site that is not secured, so it's just HTTP, any information that you type into that site when you submit it is going over the internet unencrypted, or as we call it, plain text. So if it's a credit card number, a password, a bank account, and you see that there's no S in the HTTP, do not put sensitive information into those sites. Never click on or install anything based on a pop-up from a website. This is also the one thing hopefully you take away. Pop-ups can occur even on trusted sites. Big sites such as Forbes, ESPN, they all sell advertising space, and they don't always check and see who is using that advertising space to pop up ads. So you could be on a very legit website that pops up something saying your computer's infected. Again, do not trust pop-ups or anything a website is telling you. If you're on public wireless, if you don't have to type a password to get on Wi-Fi, so we call that guest wireless, that means that wireless is not encrypted. And again, anything that you type over or send over that may be intercepted by other people. So be very careful what you do on public wireless.
I have a question.
Yes?
If you're in the airport and you have your own plug that's got your cord to it, are you okay then rather than plugging it into an outlet? As long as you have your phone and your electrical and you just plug it into an electrical outlet at the airport.
So that would be safe. The question was plugging your phone or your computer into an outlet at the airport. Any of that is safe. However, if you're going to use internet, especially at a place like an airport, if you have a hotspot feature on your phone that can create a wireless hotspot for you to use, that is the most safest way to go, because that is going to be password protected. So great question. Yeah, if you have the ability to use your own internet that you carry around with you, that is definitely the safest option to go with. Yes?
I've always been curious as to whether using copiers is a risk.
That's a great question. So the question was, using a copier, is it risky? If it's a public copier?
No, my own, even my own, but it is on the internet, and I always was curious because I do copy some documents occasionally.
So the question is about making copies using your own copier, and especially if it's connected to the internet. Is that safe? Well, the conspiracy theorist to me wants to say, no, it's not safe, because you honestly don't know what that copier is doing with your information. So I can't answer that in truth, because you just don't know. I have a copier at my house, it's connected to the internet. I do use it for sensitive data, so it's a Hewlett Packard or HP. I trust that device, and hopefully they're not taking copies of everything I put on the glass and using it against me. The safest would be standalone copiers, so something that's not connected to the internet. If you were scanning something that was extremely confidential, but for the most part, and just so everyone knows, all copiers save the data that they're copying for some amount of time. So it's not a great answer to your question, but just be leery. Yes?
How about the charging stations that you see in some hospitals or public?
Yeah, so the question was charging stations that are in public, so hospitals, airports, things like that. When you plug your phone, or especially your phone, into a charger to charge, there's two modes that your phone can run in. One is charge only, and that's an option that you can set in the phone. It's different depending on the phone type, but I'm sure Kelly probably knows about that as well. And then the second mode would be connecting. So, for instance, if I have my phone and I plug it into my computer, I can transfer photos or files from my phone to my computer. If you're in public, you want to make sure your phone is set to charge only, so it's not interacting with that charger or device. Okay, so you've been scammed. Oh no, what do? Don't be ashamed, first and foremost. It happens. These threat actors are very, very good at what they do. They spend all day trying to fool people. So don't panic. The first thing you want to do is, if you're on the phone with them, hang up. If they're on your computer, shut it down as fast as you possibly can. Any information that you can remember that you have, maybe written down, is a great idea, because you might think, hey, I'm one person, I got scammed, what information would anyone want about that? Well, these scammer groups are massive overseas, billion-dollar companies, we're going to air quote that. And the FBI, they're constantly trying to shut these groups down, although they're overseas, so there's no jurisdiction over there. But any information that you have may help them find these people, to target them. So you can contact local law enforcement, obviously contact Killian if it's happening live and you're not sure what to do, but make sure you disconnect and shut down as fast as possible. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, a question. I got a very suspicious thing that said it was from PayPal. I just looked at it on the screen and I said, okay. So I forwarded it without clicking on anything to phishing@paypal.com. Forward that message and let them chase down the bad guy.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So the comment was they received a suspicious looking email from PayPal that said there was a problem. So this gentleman forwarded it to PayPal. What was the address?
GFISHING@paypal.com.
So phishing with the PH@paypal.com. That's a great way to say, hey, this doesn't look legit. I'm just going to let PayPal deal with that email and try to go after who sent it. So that's a great idea. And again, if you get something fishy, not clicking on it isn't going to hurt, because honestly, if it's something that does need your attention and it needs it soon, and you click on it because you believe it's real, chances are that it is fake. And what's the worst that's going to happen? If you do owe someone money, they're going to send you certified mail eventually. They're not going to keep sending you emails over and over and over. Any other questions? Yes?
Password manager on a desktop. And I have an iPad and an iPhone. Can I use that manager for all three devices?
So the question was, if I have a password manager on my desktop computer, can I use that same password manager on my tablet and my phone? And the answer is, it should be yes, depending on what password manager it is. Most of them have an app that you can install on your phone and your tablet, and it'll sync those passwords between all of your accounts, which is the most wonderful thing ever. Yes?
Mike, what do you think about fingerprint and face recognition? Good, bad, indifferent?
Good. A lot of people freak out that say, oh, well, they have my face, they're going to use that. The only thing that your fingerprint or your face is used for is to scramble the data in a password. It's not actually using the picture of your face. It's a unique thing that you have that you can use to scramble passwords saved in your password manager. Again, the conspiracy theorist to me would say, don't let anyone take a picture of your face or your fingerprints. But I use those tools all the time, and it is really, really easy. So if you are worried about using your fingerprint or your face for an ID, you can always just use a pin or a pattern on your phone, and to make you feel safer, your face is all over the internet. If someone really wanted to use it for for evil purposes. They don't need it off your phone. Yes? Go ahead.
Well, I get a lot of things, pictures of people, add friends. How is that dangerous or what is it?
So the question, yeah. So the question was add friends, but I'm assuming you're talking about Facebook. It should be safe if those are people that you trust. However, if you do get one of those requests to add a friend, and it seems a little weird or out of the blue, and you do click on it, and now you're getting all sorts of, hey, buy this product, you know immediately now that they're not your friend, and that you should block them. And there's a lot of that going on Facebook, where people try and gain that friend status and then start selling things or pushing malicious links, especially. So links in Facebook also bad unless you trust that person exclusively. Go ahead.
You know all kinds of ways in which whatever they call it. I mean, isn't there some simpler way that you can be alert?
Yeah, so the question was, there's all these things out there that they're trying to get you. Isn't there some sort of simple thing? The only simple way is to not use these systems. The internet is so complicated nowadays. There's so many platforms that exist, from Facebook to Instagram and Twitter or X. And there's always people trying to find a way to exploit other people using those systems. So I personally stay off of most of those. I just check my email, get my job done, take pictures of my kids and upload them to my Google storage, and stay off of most social media as much as I can help it. Yes?
If your computer, my computer will no longer update Safari and it will no longer update Chrome, does that mean I really should be getting a new computer?
So the question was, my computer will no longer update Safari or Chrome, and so should I be getting a new computer? And the answer is yes, unfortunately. It's done. They only are supported for so many years, and as soon as you can't receive those updates that we talked about earlier, that means you can't receive patches for security flaws. And it's possibly only a matter of time before your passwords get out there. Not to scare you. So you don't have to rush out right now and buy one, but I would wait until Black Friday deals. Yes, Bill.
Do you mind if I tell my email story that's happened here, just to kind of hammer home?
No, please, go ahead.
Okay. So in my position, I think hackers out there look for people who are in charge of a company, or if you look on the Fox Run website, you'll have my picture, who I am, and my email address. So I'm targeted. And with that, emails will go out to staff at Fox Run. And I want to say I can almost count on every few months or so, staff will get emails from me. And it'll be subtle. They'll say, hey, do you have a minute? And they're prompted, Bill's emailing me, and they're prompted to say, yes, what do you need? And then a dialogue starts. Probably about a year and a half ago, maybe longer, 5 people at Fox Run got a, hey, I need a favor, can you help me? And they responded, oh, well, Bill's emailing me, so they said, what do you need? And it was, I want to do something special for and recognize a staff, but this is kind of a secret, and I don't want anyone to know. So can you go and get a gift card? I want a $100 gift card with a Visa and a $100 MasterCard. And I'm going to give them out to a couple folks, but when you get back, I'll make sure to reimburse you. And 2 of the people came to me and they said, and one was an awkward interaction in an elevator where they were staring at me. Why are you staring at me? They said, well, the email. I said, I didn't send you an email. One person actually went to Wegmans, used their own credit card, planned to, but because Wegmans had Visa and was out of MasterCard and specifically asked for both, somehow they went to Pamela, Pamela got to me, and I got on the phone and they said, oh, Bill, thank God I got you. Is it okay if I just get all Visas instead of MasterCard? And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they were about to put $1,000 on their own personal credit card for me. But it was very believable. It was I want to do something nice for Melissa, and don't tell anyone. And then I shared it with Mike, of course. And if you look at the email address, it says Bill Wildarzek, but then, as Mike pointed out, the actual address was numbers and letters. It was gibberish. And that was the way you could have easily told. But it's so easy, and these are really sharp people who did not expect it, but they panicked in the moment. So it can happen. So make sure when somebody asks you, or just sends you an email, hey, do you have a minute? There could be something out there.
And to piggyback off that, so a couple of things. We had a sense of urgency in Bill's email, and we had secrecy. See, because they don't want you telling anyone about what you're about to do, because as soon as you have an outside party looking at the situation, it's usually clear. So, but again, gift cards equal scams every single time. Any more questions? All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. And we're going to take a 5-minute break. Feel free to get more coffee, and then if you'd like to stay for the Volante Eats presentation and help with the download, stick around.